All right, so today with synthetic division, we're going to step through this handout and I'm going to tell you where some of the biggest mistakes are and things like this. Now, normally you see the problem like this right here, okay? Here's the big thing that you need to know. This right here goes in what I like to call the timeout box. Oh, it's not connected? Well, shucks. I'm glad I'm recording and y'all finally remind me. Cheese and crackers. All right, so going back to it once it finally gets up there. All right, so I like to call this the timeout box. And to me, it's kind of resembles a penalty box for hockey, or like when I was in elementary, if you pulled too many cards, you had to sit. It basically looked like a refrigerator box that they had cut one side out of, and you like sat in the box in class, facing away from everybody. So notice that this was a +3 here, now it's a negative. Okay. And the other thing is, we're only going to take the coefficients of this right here. So that was a 1 in front of this, a 13, 14, or 46, and 48. We don't worry about the x's so much. We just need the numbers. Okay. Now, what I normally like to do when I do this is we bring this first one down. We always do. That's just the process of it. Okay. Now, that part's easy. This is where people will start to get confused. Is that you have to take the number in the timeout box, -3. We multiply it by 1, and we get -3 when you're at it here. Okay. Once we do that, then we combined 13 and -3. Well, 13 minus 3 is 10. Okay. So now from here, we would say like -3 times 10 is -30. Get that? Simple. Go down. And then we do it again for -3 times 16 and like that. Okay. And I know this is probably the best thing I could find. It's not very good to see it. It's better to do it. But this is only part of our answer right here. Okay. Now, what we'll do is, since our highest degree right here was 3, when we write our answer, it's always 1 less than that. So we start with this number. This would have been like x squared plus 10x plus 16. And then there's a 0. And sometimes people will do a r of 0. That means remainder of 0. And we're doing synthetic division because long division, I hate long division. I hate long division of polynomials. I hate long division of numbers. I'm just not a big fan of long division. Okay. This is actually this is the one time I guess they finally sobered up after being on opioids and realize, hey, if we do this, it's easier. Okay. So that's what I like. I like the easier thing. Okay. So let's check that out. Let's look here at number 1. Okay. So first thing I'm gonna do on number 1, this is a +2. All right, so I'm gonna write -2 right here in my little timeout box. Okay. Now, normally we would have a polynomial that would go like this: x⁻³ something x², x, and then a number. Well, we don't have a square term right here. So when we're writing our numbers right here, we would actually go, there's a 1 right there for this one, but there's not an x² term. So we have to write 0, -2, and then 8. Okay. So now we drop down the first one, so we get 1. All right. Then we're going to say negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Okay. And 0 minus 2 is negative 2. All right. So then we say negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Okay. And then negative 2 plus 4 is negative 2. Oh, not negative 2, positive 2. And then negative 2 times positive 2, negative 4. And we get 4 here. All right. So now it comes to actually writing our final answer. Well, our highest degree right here was to the third. So we're just going to take these numbers, do like this. So this is going to be x to the third minus 2x squared plus 2. Okay, now we are plus 2x, sorry, and then plus 4. So we're kind of done. That's it. Okay, we don't have to, if we had a remainder, we would write r of whatever and everything, but it actually divided out. And again, the more you practice this, the easier it gets. Okay, that first description, not so great. This one, a little bit better. But usually by like the third or fourth one, people really start understanding the process. Okay, so that's why we're just going to keep on cruising. Okay, so let's look at the second one. All right, I have a minus 5 right here in this. So I got to do the opposite, which is a positive 5, and it goes in the timeout box. Okay. Now, remember, I just need my numbers right here. And it looks like I have all of them. I have a x to the third, x squared, x, and then a constant, so I don't have to add a 0 this time. So 12 minus 71, 57, and negative 10. And you could put positives on here if you need to. Like you could have done them plus 57 if that helps you. I don't really care. Okay, it's just however it works for you. Now, it doesn't matter whatever this first number is, we're always just going to drop it down. A while ago it was a 1, now it's a 12. So we're just going to drop this 12 down. Okay. Well, 5 times 12 is 60. Okay. Negative 71 plus 60 is negative 11. All right. Now, 5 times negative 11 is negative 55. Okay. And 57 minus 55, or 57 plus negative 55, is just going to be 2. And then 5 times 2 is 10, and this gives us 0. All right. So now we're done. This would be 12x squared, because we started with a third, so it's 1 less, minus 11x, okay, plus 2. You could leave it like this, or if you have remainder 0, okay. Now, I like putting the remainder 0 on there because it just lets me know that I'm done. That's just a Mr. Jeffries thing. And again, it doesn't have to be a you thing. Though, if there is a question on the homework where it says, do you like, basically I have it as a drop down menu of what stuff it's supposed to be. So we'll go through from there. And so is it getting a little bit better to understand? Maybe. It's the process of it is the big thing. Understanding what to do each time to multiply and stuff. It can get confusing, but I don't really want it to. All right. So I have a positive 1 right here, so I got to do the opposite, so negative 1. All right. Now it goes 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, so it's perfect. We don't have to add any zeros this time. So 3, 1, -6, -9, and 12. Okay. Yes. Yeah, real quick. Yeah, I can send her in just a second. Well, there's a first. I actually had a phone call while I was recording. This is awesome. Just like if you would be here at class. All right. So I'm going to drop down to 3. Okay. All right. -1 times 3, -3. All right. 1 minus 3 is -2. All right. So now we say -1 times -2. Well, that's just 2. -6 plus 2 is 4. -1 times 4 is -4. This would be -13. And then 13, and we get 25. All right. So we started with the 4th. That means we're going to start, when we do our answer, it starts with a third. So 3x to the third, 2x squared plus 4x minus 13 with a remainder of 25. Okay. Did everybody enjoy your extra hour of sleep, or is everybody messed up right now because of the time change? Really, you did not know that we fell back an hour? Oh my goodness. Did you wonder why it got dark at like 4:30 yesterday? Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. Yeah. It's the time change can really get you, especially my four-legged alarm clock that decided yesterday that at normal time, hey, it's time to go potty. At now, what's is 4:30 in the morning. All right. So this opposite. So we put 2 in the timeout box. All right. Our exponents go 3 and then 1. So we're missing the x squared term. So we have to go 2, 0 for our x squared term. Okay. Minus 15 and then plus 23. All right. We bring down the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay. -15 plus 8 is -7. 2 times -7, -14. And this gives us 9. So 2x squared plus 4x minus 7, remainder 9. Again, if you can multiply after the process, if you can multiply, add and subtract, you're good to go. I got really angry at my Algebra 2 teacher that when we had to do long division for like 2 days, and then all of a sudden the next day they showed us how to do this. I never wanted to physically harm a teacher more than I did that day. because I was like, what? Because it took our work time. Like it was only 25%. Like it would take me 8 minutes to do a problem, and it took me less than 2 to do it this way. Some of y'all are trying to imagine me actually going and hitting the teacher. I know what you're doing. That's not fair. I'm not that violent all the time. I'm only violent when it calls for it. All right. This one right here, we got a +2 right here, so we put -2 in the timeout box. All right, we don't have another x squared term, so we got to put a 0. So we're going to have 1. We got a 0 for our x squared that's missing. And if you have to do the little x squared over that, that's totally fine. So you know what's going on. Two, 4, 5, and then we get -10. So I thought this one looked familiar. I've used this one before on a test, I think. Okay. So pretty easy. All right. Oh, and we're done. Awesome. Good stuff. I like it when we're done. Roll Tide.